Welcome to the 3 Knockdown Rule. Starring Mario Lopez and Steve Kim. Presented by Hustler Casino.
Hey guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to our show on YouTube. It's fun. It's funny. I break this guy's balls. His wig looks crazy every week, but it's still worth doing it. Check out these badass shirts we got right now. Check it out.
Even though Mario's on it, you'll still learn something, and it's still some insightful analysis. And then I bring the funny, and I don't know what he brings.
No.
What are you talking about? I'm the star of the show here.
You bring the grumpy.
Oh, but the grumpy. Anyway, like and subscribe.
Yes,
3
please.
Knockdown
We
Rule.
appreciate you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 3 Knockdown Rule is in effect, brought to you by Hustler Casino. I'm Steve Kim, and I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Mario Lopez.
No special moniker
Nothing
today?
going on, not much going on.
You're just all pilot? Or polite, I should say. Not pilot. I'm out of it right here. But you know who does have a moniker? Smoking Tim Frazier.
And we have a jam-packed show, the Bout Sheet. Quick preview of the Riyadh season, and joining us in studio, manager to the champions, Egis Klimas.
Hey.
News and notes, Ask Mario, and final flurries.
Listen, if you're ordering GLP-1 online, then you need to hear this. There are tons of telehealth companies popping up lately, but not all providers are created equal. I bet most of you are overpaying while you could be getting this for $250 a month flat. Now, if there is no actual telehealth appointment with a doctor, it's a major red flag because that means the meds could be fake. I bet if you check, they have no Google reviews, no BBB ratings, and to top it off, once they get you signed up, they add in membership fees and keep jacking up the prices. Total nightmare. If you're looking for a reliable source for GLP-1, highly recommend you check out LifeRxMD. Prices are always $250 a month. It never goes up no matter what. All of their medications come from FDA-registered pharmacies in the U.S., right here in the States. They're the best in the business. You could just tap below to get in touch with them and tell them Mario sent you. Use code Mario for $50 off your first order or visit liferx3.com.
And also, this podcast is brought to you by Hustler Casino. Mark your calendars Thursday, August 21st, because Hustler Casino is throwing a party you don't want to miss. They're celebrating their 1,000th episode of their award-winning live poker stream, Hustler Casino Live. Join the action with $1,000 cash giveaways every other hour from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m., plus a live DJ, exclusive swag, and plenty more surprises. It's going down at Hustler Casino, and trust us, you want to be there. Stop by, get in the game, and see how big you can win this summer at Hustler Casino, or find out more at hustlercasino.com.
Round 1.
All right, we begin round number 1 from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, on the DAZN pay-per-view for the low price of just $50. Mario, I hope you can afford it. But the main event,
I hope so too.
Heavyweights in action. Moses Itama takes on Dillian Whyte. Mario, the question is this. At 12-0 and at 20 years old, how close is Moses to really parting the seas at heavyweight?
Well, we'll find out a lot on Saturday. He's a guy who's riding high on a lot of momentum right now. A lot of people are high on him, and he's hot and out the gate, but there is only 12 fights. And Dillian Whyte's a savvy veteran, and we'll see what he's got left in the tank, but it's the kind of fight you see where you're really standing if you're ready to take that next jump. Look, I don't think he's ready for like Usyk anytime soon or anything like that. But if he has an impressive performance, and should he look impressive on his way to victory with a spectacular knockout or something, then a lot of noise could be made where he can jump to the next level.
Dillian Whyte is a great fight. 6 years ago, he's 37 years old. His current record is 31-3. Third fight. It's only his third fight since 2022 when he was stopped in 6 rounds by Tyson Fury. It's one of those tried and true matchmaking gambits in boxing. You take a guy that may have been pretty good a few years ago, a little bit, well past their best buy date, and you line them up. I just don't see Dillian Whyte getting past the speed and the quickness. One thing about Itama, he may be unproven. I think he's really good. I would like to see Itama get some rounds. His last 3 fights, all scheduled for 10 rounds, none of them went past 2.
He is jumping up a little bit in competition, though. Maybe he'll be able to get some more rounds. If he is able to get some more rounds, it will behoove him. But we'll see where Dillian's head is out, too. Is he showing up for a paycheck? Yeah. Or if he's really trying to go for one last hurrah?
Yeah, the question is, do fights against Mike Ballaghan, Dempsey McKean, we were there in Saudi Arabia, and Marius Wiggity Whack, does that really prepare you to be on the doorstep of a title? Question, as I look at the Ring Magazine ratings, I get it. He may not be ready for the upper echelon led by Usyk. But let's go down the list here, Mario. Number 10, Efe Ajagbe. If they fought right now, who would you favor?
I could tell you more after Saturday. I honestly think Saturday is the litmus test, and I think Saturday, because of White's experience and being a veteran, I think we'll get a better gauge on him, because I want to see him catch a little bit too.
Well, speaking of which, number 9, Martin Bakole. I know Martin has that dad bod, ever-expanding waistline. I think that's actually a dangerous fight,
Heck yeah,
even right now.
Sure.
Number 8, Zhilei Zhang, another big guy.
Another dangerous fight.
I would actually like to see that. Two southpaws that could bang on the backhand. Fabio Wardley is a smaller guy that's been a little bit vulnerable. I would actually favor Moses in this fight. Filip Hrgovic, I've always felt, was a little bit overrated. I would favor Itama. And the number 5, if they fought right now, Anthony Joshua. Would you roll the dice if you're Itama's management?
No. I think Joshua's still too much a cut above. Look what happened. And I'm not comparing him to Francis Ngannou, but another big, strong, athletic guy, and he iced him and dropped him, I think, like 3 times. I'm not saying that's the same thing would happen, but I'd pump the brakes a little bit. He's young. How old is Itama?
20.
Yeah, come on. Dude can't even drink legally.
Well, they have these delusions of grandeur of being the next Mike Tyson and breaking that record. But just keep this in mind with AJ. He has that big showdown looming with Jake Paul. And rounding out the Ring Magazine
That can't be real. You're
top
joking.
10.
You're joking.
For the record, the top 10 rounds out number 4, Daniel Dubois, then Agat Kabayel. Number 2 is Joseph Parker. Number 1 is Tyson Fury. And the world champion, undisputed and recognized, is Alexander Usyk. Also on this DAZN pay-per-view, WBA featherweight title is on the line. Nick the Wrecking Ball takes on Sam Goodman. And then a junior lightweight showdown, Raymond Ford takes on Abraham Nova. We come back, joining us live in studio, Egis Klimas on the 3 Knockdown Rule.
Catch it streaming live right on YouTube.
Welcome to the big leagues, kid.
$1.2 million.
And I'm losing in this fucking game. What the fuck?
There's a 400K flip. If I win by the way, you get 10 grand.
Fucking straddle!
For my fans!
What? I read it twice!
Wow. All in a call.
I'm not fucking leaving!
Raise it up.
And we're back on the 3 Knockdown Rule, brought to you by Hustler Casino. And Mario, one of our special guests, one of our good friends, longtime friend of the program, joins us.
That's right, Mr. Egis Klimas.
Klimas, by the way.
Yeah, you've been butchering his name for years. Kim, I'm glad we straightened you out. Egis, it's so good to see you, and I love when great things happen to good people. Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
everything, my friend. And my gosh, what a performance by Alexander Usyk the other day. Another guy that I just absolutely love, not just as a fighter, just as a person and the way he carries himself. I love the phrase he said, or I think it was in a post-fight interview, that it was something along like the lines, and how do you keep yourself motivated, or how do you keep wanting to get up every day? And it's not motivation. He said it's discipline. And that that struck a chord with me, and that's what I showed my sons, and it's so true, and that applies in just in life. So after that spectacular knockout of Daniel Dubois, 5th round knockout over in Saudi Arabia, it's like my guy's already done the round the block twice with all the champions. Does he still have that fire in his belly? Does he still? I mean, there's obviously nothing left to prove. Now it's just about legacy, and I guess just really checking in that bag to collect money.
Yeah, of course, and especially when we sold, not we, but all the promotion. We sold the Wembley Stadium officially 2 hours or 3 hours before the starts. We got a note what officially sold out. Not a single ticket was in the box office. 96,000 people.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that is amazing.
That was good.
But I guess my question is, does Alexander still have a thirst for wanting to fight? Has he indicated to you how long he wants to keep going? Because I gotta imagine it's hard to continue. I know he's disciplined, we know that, but to continue, I guess, to kind of train is hard, because since he's been doing it for so long and he's accomplished so much, right?
After the fight, that's what he said. He says 38, it's not the age. It's just starting right now.
I love that. I love to see old. I mean, he's a young guy, but I love to see that because there is no age limit. There's no rule.
Well, not when you live clean. I would say
Right.
with him, it's a young 38. Egis, were you a little bit taken aback or offended that just a few days after the fight, the WBO sent you a mandate basically saying, hey, you need to begin negotiations immediately or soon against Joseph Parker?
I responded right away back to WBO, and I said it's kind of like insane. 5 days after the fight, you're sending right now a mandatory, which can happen in the next 2 months. A fight can happen. So champ just was preparing for 3 months in the camp, and then he needs to at least 2 months to relax.
Sure. Gotta give the body a break.
Exactly. So we have to see what condition he is. He's going to see doctors and stuff like that. Because when he trains very hard.
Egis, is there any thought, and we talked about this earlier off the air, instead of getting caught with mandatories that don't interest you or don't make sense in any way, basically vacating the belts and saying, hey, we're the world champion. We've unified this thing twice, and just saying, hey, we're the Ring Magazine and undisputed recognized champion. Any thought of that?
Well, it's, of course, thoughts and the talks going on in the team, but right now, he's keeping all the belts and he's happy, he's enjoying, and right now it's too early to talk about any fights.
At this point, you really have to start considering him as an all-time great, not just the great of his generation right now. And I think a fight, if he were to fight Joseph Parker and win in impressive fashion, I mean, I don't know what other fights are out there, really. I mean, does he go Tyson Fury again or Anthony Joshua a third time? Does Deontay Wilder come back? Because he's cleaned out the division, which is incredible because he cleaned out the light heavyweight division, or the cruiserweight division. Cruiserweight, pardon me. He cleaned out the cruiserweight division. So to do that, that's just incredible. Or I guess you can just do another lap, right?
My thoughts is, and what he likes, I think Hollywood is waiting for him.
Hollywood.
Yes.
Well, he did do some work with The Rock recently.
Yes. We did last summer. We did in Canada.
Yeah, and the Mark Kerr movie.
Yeah, we're going to film festival in Toronto, September 8th, and October 3rd. The movie is going to be in the theaters.
That's going to be awesome.
He did really good.
And once you get that bug, that'd be a great transition for him. He could be a great villain too.
and the director Benny Savdi from A24 Studio, he told me right away. He says he is made for the cameras. He says he's so good.
Yeah,
he's thinking about what to give him another roles or something. And I believe right now, if he can even retire as an undisputed, nobody did that.
Nobody.
And they go in the movies. Hollywood would love to have a new face. Look at Jean-Claude Van Damme, Mickey Rourke. Everybody went after their sport career.
Sure.
They went to the movies.
Arnold Schwarzenegger,
exactly.
Yeah.
So now,
Why
even
not?
WWE. WWE.
Yeah, even The Rock. You're right. You're right.
No,
that's awesome. And where's home primarily? Where does he primarily live?
He's still in Kiev, but he has a place in Marbella, Spain.
Oh,
so he's going back and forth.
Nice.
Yeah.
In Marbella.
I guess he can afford it.
I was going to say Marbella's nice. Okay.
Well, you've done a good job there. You don't have to throw him a GoFundMe, anything like
Right.
that. So, Egis, if suddenly, let's say 3 weeks from now, he says, Egis, I'm done. I got all the boxing out of my system. I've got nothing left to prove. Would you be okay with that?
Of course. That's his choice. I cannot choose for him. That's his choice. Now we also having all kind of different thoughts. We also having talks about maybe next fight to do with Jake Paul MMA rules, wrestling. Jake Paul is a good wrestler. He used to wrestle. Alexander, when he was a kid, he also went to the wrestling. So
I would love that.
Why not to do this?
Why not? I love that. I love a circus.
Yeah,
I think it's great.
It's not boxing, because it would be unfair for Alexander Usyk to go and fight Jake Paul as a boxing rules. But MMA, wrestling,
Sure.
Why not?
You can box too, though. As long as you got a good sprawl, takedown defense. He uses his hands with those 4-ounce gloves. Forget about it.
That's actually pretty intriguing. I can't
love that.
boxing.
Well, guys
no.
like him,
Right.
guys like Loma, who have grappling backgrounds and stuff, incredibly dangerous if they were to make that transition. So.
Egis, I know this situation, the last, I'd say, 5-6 months has been very frustrating for you. You have a pair of very respected, dangerous world champions. Let's go one by one. What is the latest with middleweight champion who's actually unified, Janibek? What can you tell us?
He seems like the new boogeyman. No one wants to fight him. I think he's the most talented guy in that weight division. Is that why he's getting avoided?
Nowadays in boxing, used to be if you have a champion, everybody wants to fight you. Everybody is kind of like, let's fight. Now you have a champion, you have a unified champion, and nobody wants to fight you.
Yeah.
So
they want to avoid you now.
Yeah. So it's been talking with Adames. It's been going like for months now. They're talking to each other, on the Twitter, calling his names and back and forth. But when it comes to fight, he's not fighting.
Huh.
We had the offer. We had the offer from Saudi, which is we signed the same day. Sign it, send it back. Adames didn't sign it, and his management telling me we're gonna do it, but I don't know when.
So that's the interesting part, though, Mario. There's been more than once where Adames puts out a tweet, and I'm thinking, okay, we got to fight. And then 24 hours later, we don't have a fight. So here's the interesting thing about...
Wait, hold on. They don't have a fight. Reason being, what is the issue?
Money. Then people wanted to back up from a fight. They say right away, money is not right.
Yeah, it's an easy way.
But here's the question that I have for Adames and his people. I know the way it works. What's your other option?
Exactly.
See, in the past, you could avoid a fight by saying, no, we have other options. We could fight that guy for just as much, if not more money.
They don't have no options because my other guy from Kazakhstan, Meirim Nursultanov, is a mandatory for WBC.
Okay. So they're in a pickle.
Yeah, either make a lot of money or face a mandatory. And I think it's ridiculous that we're in an era now, and we were talking about it earlier. There used to be a time where guys would immediately get to number one. It didn't matter who the champion was. And the great story is Ray Mancini was number one at age 20 or 21. And you know who the champion was? A guy by the name of Alexis Arguello.
Yeah.
And Ray said, Steve, there was never a thought in my mind of, I hope he moves up. He actually came into the ring. It was on CBS.
Yep, I remember that.
And so they brought him in, and he just said, Mr. Arguello, it's going to be an honor to fight you. None of this hemming and hawing, ducking and dodging. I think it's actually disgraceful. And my view is, and Adames is a world champion, but we'll get to this other guy. If you're the number one contender and there's a mandate, and if you turn down the fight, I think you should be booted from the rankings. Do you agree or disagree with us?
Yes, you can't hold up the division.
Of course. If if you're not fighting, you're mandatory. I would say you have to go right away in the very end.
I agree. And let's assume, Adames, that does not work out. Are there other names that you're considering right now with Janibek? Because we don't want to see him just not fight.
Well, first of all, he has a promoter, which is a top rank. So I'm a manager. Right. I'm not a matchmaker. But as to answer your question, I don't think anybody much with big names in the middleweight division. Lara, which is also older guy, and he holds a WBA belt. So right now, and Janibek is Janibek very well.
Great guy.
You train together.
Yeah, really nice
so
guy.
he's a big guy. He can go to 168.
Easy.
But he wants to get unify all the belts at the 160. He's patiently waiting. He wants to get all those belts and then move to 168.
Yeah, I hope he does that soon because I don't know how he makes 160. He's a big guy.
And Mario, it'd be one thing if Adames and Lara had plans to unify, but that's not happening. Anyway, Bakram Murtalazayev.
Another guy.
What's the latest?
Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. At least right now, Bakram has a mandatory to fight Lubin. So now we already called the purse bid by the IBF. August 19th is going to be a purse bid. Okay. So for him, but we went a long time. Also, like a 3 months, we were trying to put we had the Virgil Ortiz, Josh Kelly. Everybody kind of like in the beginning they wanted, but then backed out. Virgil Ortiz, we had a fight in Saudi.
You thought you had it.
Oh, what happened with that one?
Yeah, they backed up.
Oh, man. That's surprising, actually.
Do you think
that's a very good fight?
That's a very good fight, I know.
Good fight.
Do you think that the nature of the Tim Tszyu knockout, the way Bakram really dominated, do you think that has scared off people?
Of course. I think that's the main thing.
He looked incredible that night. You're right. But again, to your point, people used to want to rush to want to have the opportunity.
Exactly.
And now they run away. It's beyond me. It's twisted. That's something, again, we could take a page out of the UFC. I know we can get into it later. They don't play those games over there. If you're number one, that's
Exactly.
it. If not, you're gone.
Egis, you've done a lot of business with Turki Al Sheikh out there in Saudi Arabia. What is it like dealing with them on a personal level?
Well, I think if they want something and they see something reasonable, it's very, very easy. Very easy. The first fight I made with Spencer, manager of Tyson Fury. We did that, I don't know, like maybe 30 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, I flew to New York. I met Spencer. He brought Dr. Rakan, who's owner
Turkey's
of
guy,
Sela, a Turkish guy. And 30 minutes later, we shook our hands and walked out.
If you want to make a deal, you'll make a deal.
That's the way
Bottom
business
line.
should be done. Exactly.
Do you think, Egis, that a lot of fighters, and I'm sure you've had to deal with this, once a fighter gets that Turkey money, which is way up here, right? Is it hard for you to tell them, okay, we're still going to get paid well, but the money's coming down a little bit? Has that been an issue with you?
No. It's up to the guys. Usyk right now in London probably didn't make 3-4 times less than he was fighting in Saudi
Against Fury.
Yeah, but he's okay. He's fine.
See, I love that.
See, that's a fighter, though.
Well, but
that's a fighter.
It's big picture thinking too, right? So you could keep it. You keep your name out there. You keep the brand, the awareness level, and in the grand scheme of things, you become victorious and you get paid.
Well, Mario,
When we fought first time Dubai in Poland, Usyk didn't make anything.
Wow.
He didn't make anything. But he wanted to be close to the home.
Yeah.
It was our mandatory. We went to the purse bid. He even financed that fight. He put his own money to make a promotion of a fight in Warsaw.
Egis, your job is really interesting. On one hand, you're working with the promoter and you're negotiating on behalf of your client. That's your job. But part of your job is also to manage the expectations of your fighters to say, hey, this money could change here. How do you manage that? How do you balance that whole dynamic?
I just talk to the guys the way it is. I'm not trying to cheat on them. I'm not trying to talk them into it. I'm just saying what it is. That's what it is. And you make a decision. You are the one who's gonna fight. You are one who's gonna risk your health, your life, and you are one. Tell me yes or no. And if he says no, I go back to the promoter and say no.
So
easy.
So you're the liaison between the promoter and the fighter, of course. How is that sort of that back and forth? Do they ever try to, I don't know, overstep at some times, or is that respect always there where you're kind of the buffer between them?
No, Mario. I've been I don't know what 20 plus years doing this, and I'm probably only one manager who doesn't have any signed agreements.
Wow, that's awesome.
I don't have nobody.
Really?
Not a single guy for my team. No, I don't have no contract.
But Egis,
I don't sign it.
That says a lot about you. Yeah.
And not a single fighter left me.
See? Yeah, again.
I chase couple.
Yeah. No, but Egis, a lot of that is that cultural though, because based on where they come from and your background, I don't know if you could do that with American fighters. To be honest with you, do you think a lot of that has to do with who you are dealing with to begin with?
I dealt little, not long, but I dealt with DeMarcus Chap Corley. We didn't have no contract. But I took him all over the place. I took him to Kazakhstan, to Russia, to Ukraine.
Oh, wow.
We were going back and forth with Chap.
Oh, Chap. I didn't know that. That's cool.
Egis, you've done this for a while. You've reached the mountaintop. Like, I think everyone would agree your managing career is probably going to put you in the Hall of Fame one day. Is this still fun for you?
Still enjoying, of course. Of course, still enjoying.
Do you plan on doing this for long?
As long as I can.
Okay.
I have youngsters.
Oh, okay. You got mouths to feed.
No, well, what's great about it is when you do something you love, it never really gets old. And everything's always this. I got to imagine how the Middle East, was it what you thought when you first went there? Because I'm sure you didn't spend a lot of time there prior to this new endeavor with Turkey, right?
Yeah, well, I never thought I'm gonna end up going one day to Saudi Arabia. You know?
Yeah.
I used to go to to Dubai and stuff, but I never been. That was my first time, and little bit different, let's say from Dubai, but they're getting there. They're working very hard to get this country into the top countries in the world.
Do you think the end game is to sort of be more like Dubai, and eventually they might even allow drinking and what have you?
Are they already talking about? They're already talking about.
yeah.
I believe.
Well, then we'll go back.
Since I believe from New Year's, the hotels, top class hotels, gonna have it. Wines in the restaurants.
Okay.
I don't think we're gonna put Casa Mexico tequila yet.
We'll have to talk to Turkey.
Yeah, I mean, Mario, when we went there, it's the only fight trip where you came back healthier than when you traveled over.
Everybody was or more awake. Everybody was drinking coffee and smoking cigarettes. I was like this the whole time.
So, Egis, how you've been in this for a while now? Has the business fundamentally changed from the first time that you managed a fighter?
Well, of course, change. Look right now in the United States. Who has only Golden Boy right now? It has a DAZN deal.
Right.
Now everybody else, like a Top Rank, they not announcing. They don't have no broadcast yet. No main events, Cafe Duva. No, they don't have a broadcaster. PBC, they have Amazon
Prime, but they're not doing a lot of shows either.
Exactly, they don't do a lot of shows. So I don't think it's a big. I don't think it's a big business right now in the United States to do a pay-per-views.
Right.
Well, and I also think, or at least theoretically, if they're not tied in to certain networks, you could conceivably get more matches that way, right? Because you're not beholden to certain network ties.
Yeah, but right now, what I like about promoters getting, they working together.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, if it's a Top Rank, it's a Top Rank. If it's a Golden Boy, now they work.
They have to collaborate.
Exactly.
They have to.
Exactly.
It's
right
a necessity.
Now, Top Rank with a PBC, they're having some relationships, and I believe that can help.
Okay. Who do you like in the Canelo Crawford fight, I guess?
Well, that's very interesting. I believe Crawford can pull it out.
Really?
I believe Crawford can pull it out.
You don't think the size will be an issue, huh?
Crawford is big. I saw him last time, but I did see him somewhere else. He's pretty big.
Yeah,
he's pretty big.
I'm gonna be excited.
And
to see it.
don't forget that Canelo used to be a 147 as well.
Sure.
So-
I just keep thinking of the fight here in LA when he fought
Madrimov.
It's a very close fight.
Very close.
And
yes.
Madrimov, I thought, did really good showing. And now he's going up 2 more weight classes. So that's why I was thinking, But hey, we'll see come September.
Egis, before we let you go, we would be remiss if we did not mention 2 guys. And I think the 2 guys that really put you on the map, Sergey Kovalev and Vasyl Lomachenko. Let's go with Loma first. At the end of the day, he still had a very strong performance against Kambosos. He was a world champion. There was talk of a Tank Davis fight. Why do you think he decided to retire?
Well, I believe the way he says, I don't have no more motivation to prepare for the fight. I don't have no more in me. 3 months preparing for the fights and staying away from the family and again, then Loma trains and then Usyk trains. They don't see nothing.
Consumes them.
They consume. Even Loma had a gym in his house here in Camarillo, but he built different apartment on top of a gym, and family was staying in a house. Him and his father was staying in apartment on top of a gym.
Damn, that's discipline. That's a serious right there.
Yeah.
I don't know if it took a lot out of him, but I honestly thought he did more than enough to win that Haney fight, and he just seemed to me very deflated because he didn't get the decision that night, and I honestly thought he deserved that.
Yeah, well, of course, that's also played some role into him getting retired.
Sure, because it starts getting old. The business of it.
It was dispiriting.
It was dispiriting. Exactly.
It really was. I guess I hate to ask this question, but what decision bothers you more, given how the careers turned out? Kovalev Ward 1 or Haney Loma?
Ooh, that's a good question. Oh, God. Kovalev Ward 1 still bothers me. They both bother me, but that other one bothered me even more because he dropped him in that fight, too. Remember?
Yeah.
I know you remember.
And the both fights was in Vegas.
Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, the way it was, when people say, well, Ward won the last 7 rounds, I could point to rounds like round 10 in the first fight. There's no way Ward won that fight, or at least won that round. And then the way the rematch was handled and just the whole circumstances behind it. And Sergey Kovalev, to me, does not get enough credit. I mean, we go all the way back. This is how fast time is. In 2013, we thought we were getting Kovalev against Adonis Stevenson, and then guess what? The shenanigans began, and that held you guys back for about a year or two.
Damn,
that was also back and forth between two of them.
Yeah, and there was also the PBC issues. Al Heyman created all of that.
Correct.
Ooh, I say the Kovalev Ward one.
Egis, is Sergey now retired?
Well, he just had the fight in Russia a few months ago. Yeah, a few months ago he fought in Russia, and if anything gonna come up, he can fight. He still can fight. I just saw him last week. He came to my house. We had a talk, and the way he is looking right now, I believe in the cruiserweight, he can still crack some.
Okay. Well, Egis, before we let you go, I want to pay respect to this man, because when I emailed him, as someone that has a Yahoo email account still, you still have Hotmail. Respect, man.
He's got Hotmail?
He has Hotmail.
That. All right,
I actually texted him and said, hey, is this Hotmail still your email? He's like, yeah, why would I change?
That's old school. I like it.
Very old school.
I like it. All right, keeps it real.
But he doesn't use AOL Internet, just so you know. Doesn't have the 5.
All right, fair enough.
But anyway, Egis, anytime you're in town, please visit us again.
Thank you.
Great to see you,
guys.
my friend.
Good. Thank you for having me here.
All right, that's it for this segment of 3 Knockdown Rule. We'll be back with news and notes, Ask Mario, and final flurries on the 3 Knockdown Rule. Back on the 3 Knockdown Rule, and always a fountain of information, Egis Klimas.
Such a nice guy, and I'm glad. And his fighters are nice.
Yeah,
that's rare.
Truly one of the most influential and powerful men in the business.
Absolutely.
There's absolutely no doubt about it. All right, we move on.
News and notes.
News and notes. Mario, there was a reason why Dmitry Bivol had not put his name on the dotted line for the trilogy against Artur Beterbiev. It was announced last week, and we saw some of the social media posts. He had a back surgery, and Mike Tyson would say spinal.
How serious was it?
Well, I mean, in surgery. The back surgery is never minor.
No, it's never minor, but was it like a scope? Did they have to go in there with discs? Do we know the severity?
That we do not know, but now Artur Beterbiev will be facing Dion Nicholson on November 22nd. I'm actually hearing rumblings that should Beterbiev win as expected, the fight next year could be David Benavidez.
I'm not mad about that. I was just going to suggest that because he's not exactly a spring chicken, and I think he's very close to 40. And if that fight is going to happen, it should happen right away. And I do like that fight with Benavidez, and that's someone that will stand right in front of you. And those are some fast hands with some powerful ones. Could be very interesting.
Absolutely. And Dmitry Bivol at age 34 looks like he'll be taking the rest of 2025 off. And Mario, when we talked about, do you think Manny Pacquiao will fight again? Do you think that we'll see him in action?
No.
With the WBC rating him number 1 at welterweight, seems like a fait accompli, doesn't it?
Oh, no,
you don't seem too happy about that.
No, only because, and I love me Pacquiao. Only because I don't want to see him get hurt. Go up against even someone younger and more dangerous. So,
chances are that his next fight, given the circumstances and the way the calendar turns and the PBC schedule, they're not doing a lot of shows, that we're going to see him in 2026, most likely in the first quarter.
He's going to be 50 then?
So think about this. In 2019 is when he beat Keith Thurman.
That's crazy.
Think about how long ago that the time flies, but think about
and then he was considered old.
And we were saying,
very impressive.
What a perfect ending that would have been.
What a way to just should go out on that note. He'll go out on a beautiful note.
I think fighting a draw against Mario Barrios, where many people thought he won, would have been the other perfect ending.
Bookend. Yep.
God. Okay. And by the way, Oscar Valdez, he will be returning. He is not retired. He's back with Manny Robles, reunited, and it feels so good.
Okay.
September 6th in Mexico. Also on that undercard will be Emiliano Vargas.
Nice.
Again, Showtime, not Showtime, but Top Rank, trying to keep their fighters active as they search for their next television broadcast partner. Hey, folks, are you looking to get involved with 3 Knockdown Rule and sponsor our show? We have some spots available. Please email us at info@boxbid.io. Once again, that's info@boxbid.io. Boxbid is an online platform that helps professional boxers connect with their fans by providing exclusive Fight Week merchandise, memorabilia, and sponsorships. You can even buy a shout-out on Boxbid. Boxbid.io handles our sponsorships, and we are proudly working with them. You know, Mario, even Ozzie Smith once in a while, the greatest fielding shortstop of it, even he made an error, right? Even the incomparable Tony Gwynn once in a while struck out, right? Well, even I, once in a while, make a mistake. It happens. And it happened last week.
It happens
often. Shut up. So anyway, I was told by a couple of people, and then over dinner at Phil Trainee's, our good friend Doug Fisher, who we hope to have in here next week, pointed out to me, Steve, Meldrick Taylor did not win his title against Glenwood Brown. Let me back up a little bit. And this is how much the business has changed. And I'm not saying change for the better, but when Meldrick Taylor lost to Julio Cesar Chavez, you'd say that was a pretty brutal fight, wouldn't you?
Well, changed him forever.
Right. Wouldn't you say that was kind of tough and that maybe he needed a rest?
Yes.
I didn't realize this till I looked this up. So that fight was March 17th of 1990.
Yeah.
Nowadays, people would say take the whole year off. Well, something I'd agree with, right?
Right, after that fight.
Do you know he came back in August of that year?
Really?
August. I was actually like, wow.
5 months later.
And he fought not Santos Cardona. He fought a tough guy by the name of Primo Ramos. Was the name. And I remember thinking, oh, it doesn't look good. And then Doug pointed out to me over dinner, and he goes, Steve, you got it wrong. He fought Glenwood Brown in a title defense. The guy that he beat for the WBA 147-pound title was Aaron Superman Davis, who was a really good fighter. Superman Davis was famous, first of all, for having the nickname Superman, but he knocked out Mark Breland on ABC. So he was a good fighter. In fact, he had a really good career, very talented. And then 2 fights later, after 2 non-title fights, they did those back then, non-title fights, is when he beat Glenwood Brown. So again, hey, Tony Gwynn even took an 0 for 4. It happens.
That's okay.
It happens to the best. You know, it happens. But I want to thank everyone that corrected me.
You should be humiliated.
Yeah, I should feel awful.
Well,
but people are listening.
I do that all the time.
Yeah,
all
knock
right.
that off too, by the way.
Moving on. Ask Mario. Here's one from Hamed Boxing.
Ask you to quit bisting us.
Hamed Boxing asks us, if Floyd Mayweather had fought Amir Khan, how would you see Mayweather versus Khan? I thought Khan was very impressive against Judah and Devin Alexander. Also, who's more of a first ballot Hall of Famer, Lomachenko or Roman Gonzalez?
So 2 questions there. You know, I would have liked to have seen Floyd in a prime Amir Khan. Incredibly fast hands, and Floyd doesn't exactly bludgeon you with his punches. And Amir, known to be a little chinny later on, but those are against heavy-handed guys. Guys are just as quick at him. I think that's a competitive fight.
Competitive? No. For how
listen,
long?
Hold on a second. For a while. Look, was Zab Judah and Mayweather competitive for a while?
Oh, I thought Zab was winning 4-1. I was ringside.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think it'd be competitive for a while. I don't know about 4-1, but I think I could see it along that same vein, right? I think eventually, of course, Mayweather takes over, but I think it'd be a spirited, good fight. Think about Khan too, dude. He came to fight. He never really Khan, whether he was getting laid out or not. My guy let those hands go, and I would have liked to seen that. He was hella fast in his prime, Kim.
You know what Khan was?
Prime, he was hella fast in his prime.
We've all seen those great sports cars in L.A., right? You know one thing he didn't have though? Brakes. Ran into a lot of telephone poles, and I love him for it.
I love that though. Well, that's a great fight.
I love that. Yes. in my view, Amir Khan, the first 3-4 rounds, the hand speed, in and out movement, his skittishness would give Floyd some problems.
Yes.
Well, you know how Floyd beat Zab Judah? And Joe Goosen pointed this out to me years ago. He said, Steve, I got to give Floyd credit. He just decided, you know what, I'm going to put my hands up, and I'm just going to duck down, and I'm going to basically walk down Zab Judah. And I believe that's what he would have done.
I agree.
And eventually he would have ran him into something. I'm thinking KO 8 or 9.
Well, of course, I think that Floyd would prevail, but I'm just saying I think it's a pretty entertaining fight until that point.
Because of the speed. And
Because of the
he didn't
speed.
face a lot of fast guys. And I think that was a conscious decision.
Yeah. Now, as far as who's a first ballot Hall of Famer, I think both are. It's hard to see who, like if they were going to go in the same year.
Now, let's say you had one vote, though. You had one vote left. I got to go with Roman. And
I
they're
gotta
both
go
Hall
with
of Famers.
I got to go with Roman.
They're both going to Canastota.
Sure.
But Roman's sheer number of fights.
Just the sheer number of fights.
The volume.
But the quality of fights are Roman, too.
Right.
So,
But they're both getting in.
They're both getting it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's one from MC. Now that Munguia popped dirty, why is his win over Sarase still not overturned? And same with Francisco's win over Galal Yafai. I think that's a great question.
It is a great question. No answer, really. And, the thing about Munguia, too, is like he never showed any indications about being a dirty type of guy. And he was always like a hard worker. You never heard any bad rumors in camp and stuff. He's a good kid. So I don't know the backstory of what was going on there. So who knows what's to happen? And we haven't heard anything as far as his next steps. So.
I believe that you are setting a dangerous precedent if a guy pops dirty and you don't overturn that decision, at least into a no contest.
Yeah.
That's dangerous. I don't understand that. I mean, we're not talking about a 50-50 situation. He failed a drug test, and then I don't want to hear we're waiting for the B samples. People have to understand, the B sample is from the same lot as the A sample. It's not a different drink of urine, whatever. All right. Here's one from Pelone. Here's an interesting one. In a recent podcast with Ak and Barak, two friends of mine, Virgil Ortiz addressed Steve Kim's comments in which he allegedly called him a pig and undisciplined.
Why'd you call him that?
Were these remarks taken out of context? I don't actually remember using those words. This is what happened.
I don't remember those either.
Remember when he started to miss weight and had rhabdo? And it was after the Mean Machine fight in the summer of 2021, I believe. And someone dropped out of a fight in December. I think it might have been Ryan Garcia. And instead of Virgil fighting again to close out that year, they waited till like February or March. And what I said right here in the seat was, well, here's the problem. When you give a young fighter a chance to not train through Thanksgiving, Christmas, and the New Year, what do you think's going to happen? I actually don't think a lot of fighters who miss weight are really undisciplined. I think they're victims of the circumstance. Now, if I actually said those words, I'll admit, I think that's a little harsh and out of line. I don't actually remember using those words to be, and you were right across from me.
Yeah, I don't remember. In your defense, seriously, I don't remember. As a matter of fact, we give Virgil a lot of love here.
Yeah, and, they weren't happy with the comments. Well, the comments, except you can be upset at what I say if I actually said it.
Yeah.
And so I actually told Ak and Barak, I texted them, hey, fellas, I'd like to see where I actually said that.
Yeah, I don't remember those words.
And my view is this. Most fighters actually are disciplined, but they play that game of, well, that weigh-in's 30 hours plus. I could just load up. Look, we had 2 fighters in Japan die recently. I think there needs to be a conversation of, is it actually safe for Mario to do these weigh-ins the day before, knowing the fighters try to game the system?
I know. We talk about it being an even playing field, but it's a dangerous playing field when you do it that early.
Right. So that's all I have to say. I have no anger towards anybody. Look, my job is to say and give my opinion. Not everyone's going to agree with it. That is certainly fair game. Here's one from Woody Woodpecker. What?
That was bad.
Who are some of your favorite boxers currently fighting or from the past that are not American, Mexican, or Mexican-American?
Okay, from the past or right now?
Oh, yeah, both.
Well,
Usyk's one of yours.
Usyk's 100%. Number one, Usyk. From the past, Manny Pacquiao from the Philippines.
From the
right?
Philippines, my people.
That's much better. No more Woody Woodpecker. Usyk.
Also present.
Yes. Usyk, Manny Pacquiao.
In a way. Golovkin,
Kazakhstan. It's like me some Marcos Maidana.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Just a lot of fun.
Sergey Kovalev was always exciting.
Sure, Sergey Loma.
Basically anyone with Egis.
Yeah, all the guys with Egis. I'm trying to think of some other, say Mexican non. Well, if you want to go real,
Lucas Matisse was a personal favorite of mine.
Matisse,
The
yeah.
machine.
How far are we going back? Like Zuma Nelson?
Well,
you know what I mean? Like
that was my first favorite. To me, I've always known Accra Ghana. The factory, the Kronk
Ike
of
Corte,
Africa.
too, wasn't it?
Yeah, I love the bazooka.
Yeah, the bazooka. Yeah, that was great, too. So there was a lot of them.
Broke my heart to admit Oscar beat him. It was February 14th, 1999. No, I could have been biased because a lot of people actually had Corte winning, and I was like,
no.
With that second knockdown in the 12th round, my scorecard was 114, 113.
Yeah, he closed out the
De La
show.
Hoya.
He closed
that
out the
10-8
show.
round. I
Yeah.
thought swung it on my card.
Absolutely.
Here's one from Los number 3 Chingones. Your prediction on the Crawford versus Canelo upcoming fight. We've given that, but he says, does Ryan have one mandatory fight to fulfill his contract with Golden Boy Promotions? Now, Mario, I spoke to someone that I trust. My understanding is Golden Boy has one fight as the exclusive promoter and then 2 more with them as the co-promoter because I guess Ryan Garcia has started, guess what, his own promotional company. So Golden Boy's going to be around for about 3 fights. Come on, guys.
Okay, well, that could be a year and a half.
Or 2. Or 3. I mean, look.
Well, if you got that pace, yeah.
Think about this. He's not going to fight the rest of this year.
You don't think so?
When was the last time he fought 2 times? Do you remember? Was it the year he fought Tank? He fought Tank and Dort.
He got suspended, so he couldn't this last year. But I would think he would want to redeem himself. And he said he wasn't training. I'm just saying what he said. And so you would want to jump back on that horse right away, right?
Right, and get rid of Golden Boy out of your life, if that's like the goal.
Yeah, get those fights out of the way. It's interesting.
It'll always have drama. It'll always have drama. And here's one from Explosive Hydra 7. Hey, Kim, ask the Chula Vista Heartbreaker Mario, how long would it take to develop those dance moves? Because you can cut the rug. Now, when did you really start breaking out the Watusi and the two-step?
Was that your high school nickname?
the Chula Vista Heartbreaker. Yeah. No, dancing's kind of like it's like athletic ability. Either you have rhythm or you don't have rhythm. So.
What are you trying to say? Are you looking at me that way?
I'm not. Why are you taking it on personal? Why are you taking it personal? Hey,
we were shocked to learn that you could swim last week.
That's right. You could swim, and you probably got K-pop moves in you, bro. I figure you could do that.
All I can say to that is stop Asian hate. But I want to tell you right now.
I gave Asian
You
love.
saw the toe tapping last week.
Yeah, but you know
That's
what?
right.
I can running man my ass off. Don't even give me that. But
okay.
When did you start? Did you actually formally take dance lessons as you got into the entertainment field?
Well, my mom, when I was a kid, put me in a bunch of things to keep me busy and out of trouble.
And you just had a knack for it.
So I was the only dancing, theater, wrestling, karate kid that I knew every day.
You truly are a renaissance man. There's no doubt about that.
There you go.
Final flurries.
All right, moving on to final flurries. Mario, the big story in combat sports, and we woke up to it on Monday. The UFC has announced, along with Dana White, that they're in some sort of partnership. They're moving all of their content to Paramount Plus, CBS, that whole umbrella. And in essence, there is no pay-per-view. Wow.
$7.7 billion.
With a B.
With a B. A deal with CBS and Paramount with no pay-per-view. Unbelievable. I actually am shocked that it's not by the sheer number, because that number is astounding. Biggest sports deal package ever. But because of the upcoming fight on Netflix with Canelo Crawford, one would think that relationship was forming, would go there. Wow. CBS Paramount just took it another level. Congratulations to my guy, Dana, and his team over at UFC. That is astounding. And if boxing just took if they could just take a page out of this book, implement it somehow, it's really, Kim, this is really going to, it's going to become more popular than ever now, because the fights are going to be on CBS.
Yeah, the big ones, some of them, yeah.
Yeah, you were kind of a little blown away, I got to admit, when you read this, right?
Think about the juxtaposition, big SAT word there, okay? The juxtaposition of this upcoming fight from Saudi Arabia with Moses Itama and Dillian White is on pay-per-view. On this Monday, UFC says in a few months, all of our stuff in essence is going to come with a base subscription. You don't see like what, like the shifting here?
Of course, just as a fan. And if you're a fan and a combat sports fan, and it was getting expensive to be both a UFC fan and a boxing fan. And if people have to make a choice, it seems like the choice is going to be easy now.
And I've said this, and I'm probably going to deal with it a little bit closer to the fight. When Canelo walks off into the sunset, I don't think boxing has a pay-per-view anchor. Who's the next star? Because we've gone from the middleweights of the 80s, the Four Kings, to Mike Tyson, then to De La Hoya, to Mayweather, to Pacquiao, to Canelo. There's this natural lineage, right?
A lot of people thought it was going to perhaps be Ryan Garcia. That doesn't seem to be the case at the moment, and that's at least put on hold. I tell you, if he keeps his head focused, and it's not anytime soon, but later on, I could see Emiliano Vargas being pay-per-view star later on.
Right, and we got to figure out what Top Rank is, where they're going to land.
Well, funny that you mentioned them. So ESPN, who had both boxing and MMA, have neither now.
Yeah.
That's interesting that they got out of the combat sports business altogether.
I could see the announcement tomorrow. Pickleball. That's going to be their thing. Pickleball on the Ocho.
Yeah, I just got a pickleball court in my yard.
Yeah, I know. I want to practice.
That's right. You got to practice.
I was terrible.
You got the reflexes
I
of like an 88-year-old woman.
The way I swung that thing, I shamed all Asians. Michael Chang, I am not. Mario.
I have it on video.
Oh, my God. Yeah, keep that to yourself. Mario, Super Bowl plans out the door. I was feeling good about your Chargers.
Death, taxes, and a Charger getting injured.
Rashawn Slater.
Rashawn Slater
All pro-level guy.
Signs the biggest contract in offensive line history, and it seemed like 3 days later he had a patella tendon tear, which is serious. Out for the season. It's going to take him out. And that's the main guy that protects Herbert. Oh, my gosh. That's an important position, obviously, for the run game, for the quarterback. I don't even know how you recover from something like that. That's not an easy position just to fill.
Some literature on that injury, it's not like a regular
No,
ACL.
it's not an ACL or an MCL.
I mean, it is something that about half the players are never really the same.
Right.
Wow.
Exactly. So, fingers crossed, prayer, because they've looked good up until that point. I know it's preseason, but we'll see. I'm hoping.
And Mario, Shohei Ohtani, you know what? He's going to be pretty good in baseball.
I want to read you just a couple of things that my guy, Shohei Ohtani, has been doing as of late, because it's ridiculous. You know he's my neighbor. I've mentioned this, right? And he hasn't moved out. I haven't ran into him yet. But Shohei now, I'm going to list the players in the history of baseball over 100 years who have pitched 500 strikeouts and have 1,000 hits. Shohei Ohtani. That's the list.
Wow.
That's it. He's the only player also with 40-plus homers in each of the last 3 seasons. Okay? He scored 110 runs this year. No one else in the National League has more than 80. And it's the first time a player has had at least 30 or more runs than any other player since Chuck Klein back in 1932.
I remember him.
The last stat, 12 players in MLB history have won 3 MVP awards. Only one player has 4 or more, Barry Bonds. Shohei is about to waltz into his 4th in just 5 years this year.
So
does he surpass Bonds at the end of the day?
No, I think at this point you're wondering, Shohei or the Bambino?
You got to go Shohei. Bambino did it against a bunch of white dudes that didn't have any Latino or black players and used to pitch whole games. Now you've got openers, you've got relievers, you've got specialists, you've got closers, and the fact that he's still doing that?
I mean, that is sacrilege to a lot of people.
Babe was hitting like 75-mile-per-hour fastballs, dude.
Well, okay, I wouldn't say that much.
Dude, they were back in the day. That's exactly
they were a little
it.
bit more than 75.
Come on.
Yeah, well, the thing was,
you can't compare the eras.
If a good hitter in today's game could face the same pitcher 4 or 5 times,
it's exactly
it'd be stealing.
What do you think Shohei would do for that? It's crazy. Yeah. Look at Babe has 159 home runs in his first 674 games. Shohei has 160 in his first 64, and he's got the same amount of pitches. Our games won that he's pitched 35. Whew. Dude, but in this era, that makes it even that much more.
That is amazing that the Angels at one time had Mike Trout and Shohei, and they were completely irrelevant.
Is that crazy?
You want to talk about just wasting 2 iconic generational. They had to fold up that franchise. Gene Autry is rolling over in his grave.
At the end of the day, does he end up being the best player statistically?
Do you dock him if he does not have a 15-year major league career? Because longevity does matter a little bit, doesn't it?
I honestly wish he didn't pitch. I know that's what makes him a unicorn and so great, but I think it's going to take a toll on its body, and it's going to shorten his career a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, and I think eventually they're going to say, look, you're just going to DH.
Yeah.
That's
Look at
what-
last year when they just had him
Yeah.
DH. He ended up doing something that never been done
50
before.
for 50. That's
yeah,
another
exactly.
thing.
You know what I mean?
There's
Like,
a-
the dude's incredible.
There's a strong case.
That's a strong case. That's all I'm saying.
All right, well, that's it for this week's edition of the 3 Knockdown Rule, brought to you by Hustler Casino. Again, if you want to sponsor our show, send us an email, info@boxbid.io. On behalf of Mario Lopez and Smoking Tim Frazier, till next week, goodbye, everybody.
Hey guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to our show on YouTube. It's fun. It's funny. I break this guy's balls. His wig looks crazy every week, but it's still worth doing it. Check out these badass shirts we got right now.
Here's the
Check
thing,
it out.
though, even though Mario's on it, you'll still learn something, and it's still some insightful analysis, and then I bring the funny, and I don't know what he brings.
No.
What are you talking about? I'm the star of the show here.
You bring the grumpy.
Oh, but the
You
grumpy,
bring the grumpy.
anyway,
I'll bring
like
the
and
charm for you.
subscribe.
Yes,
3
please.
Knockdown
We
Rule.
appreciate you.